Hello everyone, my name is Ancient Marauder, aka Fair Helmet, and today we're on another episode of the podcast. Actually, this is a redo of a previous episode where we had mic issues. We're just gonna leave that one public for now, but since we had mic issues that time, we're going to fix that by just re-recording everything. Oh, and I
Nice
see
part.
our
We'll try to
guest.
cover everything that we can.
Yeah,
Oh,
our guest is here.
yep. I'll get him in.
Oh yeah, look at that. The podcast is live. And this time you can hear me. Okay, good.
All right, so good deal. I'm the Pepsilorian. No technical issues, and we're off to a good start.
Yep. Hold up. Let me just. I need to figure out how to. Crusader, you should be able to invite yourself to speak, like to pull yourself up. There you go.
Hello?
Hello. Um, welcome back to the
Yeah, my bad.
podcast. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course.
No,
Uh,
no
so
problem.
so today we're going to be redoing all of the questions and updates and such that we couldn't do with the mic issues, or that rather
Yeah.
that we did or that nobody heard. Yeah.
Well, let's get started with going over recent updates to the Discord.
Okay, so recent updates to the Discord. Kid of the Month has been retired. We have a fancy new profile picture. And Brandtober starts this October, which is like in a few days.
Could you give
Yeah.
us a bit of insight on what Brandtober is?
Okay, so Brandtober is kind of like a ripoff of Inktober, but for brand warriors. Instead of instead of doing art, you can participate in any way by you can participate in any way by making videos, by making props, by making armor, pretty much anything that you want to create, you can create it. As long as it doesn't really use generative AI that heavily, you should be fine. Yeah.
Hmm. And that'll be starting up October 1st.
Yeah,
Hope to
but we're
see
going
everyone
to
participate.
announce it. Yeah.
Hope to see everyone participate, and we'll all have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So that's a brief summary of the updates to the Discord and the subreddit and just in general what we're going to be doing for the next month. Crusader, how about you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Crusader. My name is Crusader or Cardboard Historian. I'm a TikToker that I devote a lot of my cardboard equipment or props to historical items, and I also make skits that use set props.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, yeah, it's unrelated, but I'm also an amateur boxer, so
Yeah,
that also mangles into a lot some of what I'm posting. So
Ah, interesting.
absolutely.
Well, we're glad to have you. Uh,
yeah,
a lot
thank
of
you.
what our a lot of what our podcast kind of focuses on is the creative mind, and we started to help focus on different types of prop building and
Right.
but helping others build different types of props, whether for cosplay or for hobby. And could you tell us a little bit about your process?
So my process. Oh, my bad. Okay, so my process essentially what it is it's mostly about eyeballing, but also it's a lot like um smart guessing
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
educated guessing.
Yeah, could you elaborate a bit further on that for anyone unaware?
So essentially what I do is I I go to so I choose an item that I want to create, and probably prior to the process or starting of the process in making it physically, I do my research on it, and I look for any small details that, like, say, minor details that might become major in the future. So a lot of it's just planning ahead.
Hmm.
And so my first step is I get a general idea. So I usually get inspired by techniques that other people do, and I start the project by one the cardboard, say a template, then I finalize that template and I move on to the final product. And that's where I make any final touches, and then I duplicate it, and that's where I start, building on top of that.
Hmm.
Say like my Gewehr rifle or my German rifle that I have, or all the rifles that I have, they all have the same process for all the guns I have. They start with a plate. They start with like a singular or big plate of cardboard,
Mhm.
and I build on top of that by making the walls. And then once that's secured down, I I kind of fatten it up. I put I put like just any scrap right there inside of it to add weight, and I write down anything that needs to be fixed or needs to be worked on, and say if this is also a stage to where I can still modify if I need to.
Hmm.
So like while I like to sometimes get ahead, so I so I can go ahead, start the template, and as I'm doing it, I usually have my phone next to me, either in like two pages, one page being a 3D model or a picture in real life of the object, and I have a information page, say a Wikipedia page, which is not as useful because sometimes they do make mistakes when it comes to sources, or I go to a historical source that has the dimensions and the thickness of the the object.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And then and then once, say, I make a small minor mistake, I can just kind of like gouge it out and then build on top of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes sometimes it can like sometimes it's negligible. Like you won't have to, like, maybe you'll have to fix it once, and it will be like a problem in the past, or maybe it will just be like something that very minor, or it'll be a problem in the future. So like along that third stage of making something, that's the point where, like, for example, my one rifle, when I was making the Gewehr 98, there was actually a rifle that, or a there was a first version of it. So I was making the walls of it, and that's where I found out that it's made out of a bad quality type of cardboard, and this cardboard, I figured it out when it ripped easily and it didn't maintain the weight easily, because just like my good friend Marauder here, a
Yeah.
lot of their building requires the integrity. It requires integrity so it can like last longer, and so you don't need to repair it constantly, and so that it's like it's in it. I would say efficient in what it does.
Hmm.
Also,
So,
I cut out too much, and I made it too thin.
Yeah.
So
So,
So
another,
yeah.
yeah. Another question would be, excuse me. What about the cosmetic versus practicality aspect of your cardboard props? Like how practical do you try to make them versus how cosmetic do you try to make them, and what's the balance between the two, if you even believe there is a balance to begin with?
Oh, there is a balance. There is a balance in everything. Um, I try to go for like a true and complete middle, and it just so my Gewehr, it it really takes practice, or it really takes like multiple tries to get it something right. And once you find what's the problem, you can, or you know enough of something, you can find, like, here, I could make something right now, and it would be fragile, but it would look great. And then you can make something that resembles, I can make something that resembles a bolt out of cardboard, and it could carry something, but it would be ugly.
Yeah.
So I try to find something within the middle, and it's very hard because trying to, like, here, it's a lot like a lot like balancing a uh let's say a metal, like a ball on your feet. It's a lot like that because you're trying to preserve the beauty of it while also trying to make it functional. It's a lot like constructing a car.
Yeah, I agree. Like most of my stuff has always been about like some kind of cool function that it does, like, and then the decorational and cosmetic aspects are slapped on top of it afterwards. Like my viral claws, those were mostly thought out through like the actual function of how they would work, and then how they were decorated was secondary. So I know what you
Yeah,
mean is like something ugly versus something, like something ugly that works really well versus something beautiful that doesn't really do anything.
You were saying about a type of cardboard that was didn't have that or did not have good integrity. Could you expand on that further? Like, how could you identify for like our listeners a I guess different types of cardboard that are I guess would be considered good and bad for crafting?
well, if you want me to get, if like, here, there's mainly three types of cardboard. So
Okay.
you have corrugated, and corrugated. Uh, I don't want to expand on it too much, or if you want me
Hmm.
to.
Just
So corrugated, like regular Amazon box, that's good. Like, it'll hold its own,
hmm
and it's probably like one of the best quality cardboards you can get, and it's good for starters
hmm
because it's basic. I really see no drawbacks. It's kind of like the boxer puncher of cardboards, and it's really just equal all the way.
hmm
But once you try to like put weight on it, to like, or put too much weight on it, it will just, it'll kind of like lose in its integrity over time. And overall, it's not that, like, it's good for like 1 to 2 years, but that's
hmm
when, like, if kept under great conditions, it'll last you like 5 years at most. But say if you're like moving around a lot, then that's not the cardboard to go.
Yeah. Um, I do want to expand on like corrugated cardboard a bit. Is like different layers of corrugated cardboard also exist.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like you have like the regular 3 layer cardboard with like one top layer, one bottom layer, and then the corrugated layer at the center. You can also have like 5 layer cardboard with like 2 corrugated layers and 3 flat layers in between them and at the edges of them, so that so that they like perfectly, so that they form like a two corrugated layer, a double wall cardboard. But then I've also seen triple layered cardboard for something really heavy duty like cars or watermelons or whatever something that needs to withstand
Wait,
a lot of weight, yeah. And triple layer cardboard is incredibly good at withstanding weight. The only problem is that you'd run out of box cutter blades trying to cut it.
yeah, I was actually about to mention that it's very good for like construction, and it's very great for like something if you want it to make it intentionally heavy, say for a rifle, and you want to give it that you know feel because you work better with something that works a bit heavier, and honestly, you feel like that you would break it if it was a bit lighter. You
Yeah.
feel what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but also it drain like say if you have scissors or a blade and you have a very limited supply of that, or you're very tight on money, that you should be worried when using that type of cardboard due to the attrition it does on your blades or scissors.
Yeah. Like last
And
time yeah.
sorry, just to butt in real quick. We didn't go over this earlier, but to anyone listening, quick PSA before any doing type of crafting at all, please use any type of safety equipment, eye protection, hand
Yes.
protection. Uh, yeah,
Gloves.
just quick PSA. Yeah, gloves, eye protection, whole 9 yards. PSA.
Do you
Quick
mind if
enough.
we talk about that in the next topic? Like, because
Yeah,
I really want to talk about that.
Like
yeah,
safety.
that's fine. Continue what you're saying, though. Sorry, buddy.
No, no, you're right. So yeah, the next type of cardboard that I want to address, um, I want to go about the bad quality. The bad quality is anything that is related to, say, bigger things, say, a chair you get from Costco or a metal chair, like a foldable metal chair, or just things that come like very big. That's the like say if it's like a bit tan and a bit light tan in color, and it has more of a like rough feel rather than a fine feel like the previous type of cardboard. You should avoid using that at all costs because they are made at the cheapest bidder. But I like they if you want to use it as like say a paper like weight, or you want to use it say as you want to like make like something very small, and it's you don't want it to last long. Say you want to make like a little prop for a video and you're probably not going to use it again. 100% you should use that because it's not going to last long, and if you want to throw it away, it'll crumple up easy. But in no case should you be using that type of cardboard if you want to use it for like a long lasting thing. Plus, that type of cardboard is extremely expensive, or it's very inefficient when it comes to repairs.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Yeah.
it does not handle weight very well. Sorry if I interrupted you.
No worries. Um, like one time though, I got really lucky with that kind of cardboard where my neighbors were doing upstairs renovations, and the builders, the workers there, the people working with all the different stuff, they were carrying down like a huge bag of cardboard, like 3 or 4 meters worth of cardboard all bundled up, and 3 or 4 square meters of cardboard all bundled up. And I caught them going down the stairs in front of the entrance to my place, and I was like, "Hey, are you throwing that cardboard away?" And they were like, "Yeah." So the cardboard that they had was very flimsy, but it was so plentiful and whatnot, and it was very lightweight that I decided to make most of my armor out of it at the time, In fact, it's the Marauder armor that you guys see on screen right now. It's the Marauder armor.
Like speaking on that flimsy cardboard, so like a lot of brand warriors, like the soda boxes, they use that for their armor, and a lot of it's very flimsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I find that like reinforced.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, see, the thing is about that kind of cardboard is it's technically not even corrugated cardboard. It's more like carton. It's more like it's more like just thick paper with print on it, basically.
Gotcha.
And it's like that's a given that it's flimsy, It's like it's like not super bad. It's like, in fact, if anything, it being flimsy is a pretty big strength for it, because you can kind of like cut it into different shapes, and like Cola Crusader's armor, for example, is not that bad for what it's made out of. It doesn't have any kind of underneath protection for the most part. His current armor is just made out of those boxes.
Right, but what I'm getting at is the central topic of making it last longer.
Oh,
as far as wearing. Because like I don't know about y'all, but like for example with like my 1% or cardboard armor or carton armor out of that, I would usually line like the insides of it with like something like duct tape. Because like I'd be constantly putting it on, taking it off, wearing it to a convention, and that stuff would wear and tear easily over time. But aligning the inside of it with duct tape, that it doesn't show on the outside, but it helps a whole lot as far as keeping the strength of it up.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that before, but for my Cherry Lorian, what I decided to do was to have like a basic under structure. Like what I did was I wood glued the actual carton to like proper corrugated cardboard, and then cut those shapes out for the helmet. Yeah. But
yeah, like with my new Dr. Doom kit with like the bracers, in order to kind of keep that what's the word I'm looking for? The flexible look to it. I'd line the inside of them with duct tape so that way they can still bend, but the edges won't tear.
Yeah.
And that way they'll last. Because I do have a set that I've used on one of my Pepsi kits for probably about 2 years, and they are still going pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a lot like split end hairs, right? Because like once that skin starts peeling off, it'll catch onto like skin or clothes, and it'll just rip more.
Yeah. Unless you repair it
Also,
with like some wood glue.
Also, another thing I want to add on is that probably the worst thing you could do with cardboard in like a hot environment, say like Midwest Texas, like Texas or California, or any like hot environment or moist environment, is wear a cardboard suit with bare skin. Because say you're in a convention, right, and usually conventions sometimes get hot due to the amount of people there and to the amount of moving around.
Yes.
Wearing it on your skin probably would be the worst idea, because like your skin secretes oils, and you sweat. All that oil could get into the cardboard, and the cardboard, it does not obtain moisture. It does not deal with moisture well. And that's where that cardboard starts rotting, it starts smelling, and eventually it can lead to cockroaches or other tiny insects getting into the cardboard and start chewing on it, or it can become a worse matter, such as mold starting to develop and becoming a health hazard.
Yeah, I've
No,
gotten.
in my first year of cardboard crafting, I had this Crusader helmet, and it had like Japanese writing on it because I was just like that as a kid. And so when I made the helmet, it I noticed that there was just black or just like green or black like mold forming at where my mouth would be. And then I didn't wear it for the next few days because I was looking up, hey, what is that? And then that's where I noticed, oh, damn, that's mold because of the moisture. So what? And then I just threw it away
Yeah, that's all you really
because
can do at that point.
yeah, because like once cardboard gets mold on it, there you can't fix it. That's one of the things you can't you that's one of the many things you cannot do with cardboard. Is you cannot fix mold because mold it engraves itself into the paper.
Yeah, you can't really. You see another thing about mold is like with all mushrooms, mold is like the mold that you see is like 1% of the actual mushroom itself is like you once you can see it, it's already everywhere inside of your cardboard helmet or underground or in your food, wherever it can be.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so there's no real answer to it except throwing it out.
Like here, when I saw the mold on my cardboard helmet, it was already on there. Like it was already spread to a good amount. So I 100% breathed it in. And I
Yeah.
think a few days prior, I was having shortness of breath, and I was having some difficulty breathing, and then that's where I noticed, or that when I was going to make a video, I noticed, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
So it may not seem as serious to some people, but it's extremely serious. So here, you don't really see it. You don't really see it until like you see it, and by then you've already breathed it in a hell ton.
Yeah.
That's why y'all should or people who are watching, they should you should write down what you have. You should dry it off. Say if something gets moist, try to dry it off, and say if you do have a helmet and you do breathe inside of it for an extended amount of time, you should wipe it down with a Lysol wipe or here Lysol wipes. There, it's antibacterial.
Yeah.
That means mold won't grow on it, and it's okay for cardboard as long as you don't
Wipe it
splash
too
it on
much.
there. Say like you get your occasional like baby wipe or anything, just wipe just maybe just wipe it off. It'll be fine. Like alcohol wipes, that'll be fine too.
Yeah.
Just make sure to wipe down your helmets maybe every time you put them on because that will make that last longer and it will prevent you from getting sick like I did, or it will prevent you from getting black mold on your cardboard.
Yeah. On a different topic though. On a different topic though. What are your opinions on like templates? What is
Uh,
like
I per-
yeah?
I personally never liked templates because it kind of I'd rather be a bit more romance with what I do, and I don't mean like romance as in like love or like liking another person. I mean like the old definition, like creativity, discovery, all that. So I'd rather be more romance with what I do, and I feel like templates they kind of shut down creativity. They do inspire, yes, but when it comes to creativity, I don't like templates.
Yeah. Um there's like a whole way to go around with templates is in designing them yourself. Like for example, you could take like some kind of digital editing software, like well, not editing, sorry, vector art software, and design templates yourself. But yeah, I can agree with that approach. Is like it's like
Sorry if y'all hear some noises. I'm cleaning the pool.
oh, okay, you're good. But mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, yeah. We're at and also yeah. Quick PSA, like Pepsilorian said in chat, we are answering questions today, like any other day of the podcast. So feel free to chime in if you have your own questions on props, on if you have your own questions on props, if you have your own questions on like weapons, like prop weapons, like what we're doing right now. Yeah,
Are you talking to me or to the audience?
the audience. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also, don't mind that one chatter. No.
Yeah.
Don't mind
You have
her
a
for now.
fan.
What?
You have a fan.
No, not just a fan, but like, yeah.
Anyway, so you were mentioning that I think you said, yeah, earlier you talked about eyeballing it and not much of a fan on templates.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think learning from experience is great, and failure is more of a learning experience. Sure, failure can suck, and it does make a lot of time feel like it was just wasted. But
yeah,
every
I get
time you
that.
do make something, you get the experience, and you learn that, damn, I failed. This is how it happened. Now I know not to do it. It's a lot like a kid if he falls on his knee and while
Hmm,
running around a pool and he scratches it and then he learns, damn, I really shouldn't run around a pool.
that makes sense. I think last time you had mentioned that you whenever you were creating something, you would print off like several pictures, like down to the detail of like whichever project you were doing. Like you would get like even zoom in or something, so that way you would have like very minute details of like whatever section you were working on in order
Yeah,
to aid.
100%. So you actually got that spot on. I don't really print. I I save it in an album in my phone, and
Ah,
like I think for the like the little holes on my helmet, I looked into that, and I usually learn. I learn a lot while I'm creating, and I learn more than I did beforehand when I was creating it, rather than when I already knew about it. Like, say the helm, the stall helm, the German helmet that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned that what the little holes or little horns on it were for is that they were actually vent holes for when the summer comes around, so that like air flows freely.
ah,
I really thought they were just there to look decorative, but they actually served a purpose, and they served a purpose on cardboard too, because they helped prevent mold. They've helped prevent mold because I have a fan in my room, and air, it goes down, and due to the horns, they kind of face up. That air goes through those holes, and it kind of vents the hot air on my head.
Awesome. Yeah.
So
That makes
like,
a lot of sense actually.
and also I don't really try to when it comes to eyeballing, I don't really eyeball. I I try when it comes to like minute details. Um, I really try to eyeball the size, and then when it comes to details, I I get that down to like the millimeter.
Yeah.
But also I try to make it as like as close as possible because when you're trying to develop like different systems and like say a pulley system or like say or rubber bands, it won't last as long. So what I do is I copy the rifle and how it like chambered a rifle or a bullet, and so far that's worked. When you copy something from the internals to the outside, it works just like the gun as it would like it works just like the item as it would if it were a real thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That that leads me to the next question. Do you use any type of well, it's kind of a two-part question, but do you use any other materials in your building process, like for integrity purposes or for functionality purposes? Say, for example, like cardboard tubing or PVC or wood dowel rods for
I
building
do.
functionality or for decorative purposes.
I use mask tape or painter's tape for structural integrity and uh, for the looks of it
Um.
because even though it's small, it also adds weight, and it also like the camouflage that I have on the helmet that I have, it it it's made out of mask tape and it's made out of paper mache that I've used. So I use paper, mask tape, wood, metal sometimes, depending, and I also like to use damn, I forgot that one thing, but um yeah, I think we just skip that part. Um, so that's
Also.
those are the main four things I would use.
Also. I know for a fact that, like, I remember for a fact that you also use, like, toothpicks for certain details that move, like hinges.
Uh, I know what you're talking about. I don't do that anymore because I tried that on a project for two times, and they don't really work well with hinges.
Hmm.
Um,
You'd think that they did.
the the hinge that on my rifle, that's not much of a hinge. It's more of like a bolt. But I get what you mean by the hinge. I think you're referring to the dust cover that I attempted to make a
Yeah,
few years back.
yeah, the dust cover
Yeah,
was amazing, honestly. Like you stuck a toothpick in between the corrugations for the tiny little hinge on the cap.
yeah. It did look okay. It looked okay, but really, it was just when it came to functionality and looks. I there's like a fine line that can be drawn because like when it comes to like projects that are very big, functionality and like decoration, the fine line is almost as fine as sand, and it can be told. But when it comes to smaller integrations to a bigger project, that's what a fine line drags more into functionality.
Yeah.
So like hinges, I haven't really perfected that because I've tried to like I'm a bit how I say it what's that one word? Well, I'm a bit biased towards them, but I will try it in the future if need be.
Yeah. Like I was thinking of, like, for example, I tried using a toothpick for the dust cover of an AR-15 for my cardboard prop design, but it didn't really work out that well. Needs to be redone. Excuse me.
I've seen other people do that. It really I think it depends on like how how like the piece of cardboard and like it. I think it revolves around paper. Like what I think they do is they like have this like piece of stick, a toothpick, or like this little like stick, and they wrap paper around it and they glue that, and then they glue on a piece of cardboard onto that,
Yeah.
so that like, you don't have to stick it into the cardboard and then compromise the integrity of that, and to constantly do repairs on that. So it's, I guess it's kind of like finding a way through that. And it's kind of like building a road around the river besides through it.
Yeah. So, um, hmm, I'm just
What
thinking.
about texture?
Yeah.
Do you do any type of texture work?
Do any type of texture?
Yeah, like any textures on any of your projects or any texture techniques?
Well, one thing I like to do is, I think it's very risky, but what I like to do is I get cardboard and I take it outside, and say if it's like on a rainy day, I have to leave it out, and it'll kind of like give you that sandpaper feeling of like unfinished wood.
Yeah.
And I don't recommend doing this with a finished project or any project at all. I recommend just doing this with like scrap, and say like just like the box puncher or like the corrugated cardboard that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Just do it with that, and try not to use the. If you use like the lower quality cardboard and try to put it in the rain, it will just disintegrate. If you try to put higher quality cardboard in the rain, it won't. It'll just stay the same depending on the type of cardboard. I guess it just depends on like what you do. So like, if you want like more of a softer feel, then what I recommend is like you just like you like sand it down to where like the paper is more fuzzy. But also there's a risk with that, because while you're sanding it down, you may need a mask or do it outside, because of the paper particles or the sawdust is coming and flying through the air, and you may have a chance of inhaling it and that damaging your lungs.
Yeah. Um, One thing to note is that sometimes cardboard is reinforced with clay.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Not
didn't even know that. What?
not in all instances, but like sometimes you can see like these gray blotches in cardboard. Yeah, that's clay.
Well, why did they put clay on there?
To reinforce it.
Oh, so
So
like for like more fragile things, or
yeah, for like more fragile, like for more fragile things, you need more resistant cardboard. Yeah, and
that's pretty cool.
inhaling and like you said, inhaling paper is just bad enough, but inhaling clay particles is probably gonna be even worse.
Yeah, clay's just dust, right? If it's like try to sand it down, right?
Clay is just like silicon
Oh yeah,
carbon.
you'd probably get like pneumonia.
Yeah.
I think pneumonia is probably like a bad thing also.
No, isn't I think pneumonia is the
Yeah,
viral no, not the viral infection, the bacterial infection.
dust pneumonia. My bad, dust pneumonia.
Dust pneumonia. Oh,
That's a separate thing. Yeah, a lot of people got that during like the Dust Bowl, because of the dust that entered people's lungs.
yeah.
It's different, but it's a lot like it has like the same symptoms as like pneumonia. You cough a lot.
Yeah. But
Um,
we need to stay on topic a bit. In
yes, my
terms
bad.
of like
Sorry.
no, you're fine, you're fine. It's just we need to it's just when like we're getting off topic a lot and yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to stay. I'll try to stay on topic.
It's you're fine, you're fine. Um so what about like what about smooth surfaces, bondo, fillers, whatever? Like what kind of substances do you use to make the cardboard smoother, if any at all?
what I do to make it smoother is um like smoother around the edges. What I do is I kind of I get a ruler or something hard, or like say go to like a nearby table, and I will smooth out the edges of cardboard of a finished project to so it doesn't like so it increases the lifespan of that project while it also gives you that smooth feeling of like a like finished wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you say filler, right?
Yeah, filler. Do you also use any
Like
kind of you also use some kind of stuff that like fills in gaps? Like maybe wood
um
glue?
uh, not really. I mainly just stick. I'm mainly more like conservative when it comes to it. I guess just regular hot glue.
Yeah, just regular hot glue.
And
Regular hot glue fills
yeah,
in gaps really well, but it can't be sanded the same way contact cement or wood glue can. So so like most cosplayers usually just stick to to contact cement and wood glue, but yeah. Like like the other day I was at a convention with Monster Knight, and he got to show me his axe. Like, what's interesting about his armor is that all of it's bolted together with like these spikes,
right.
but the axe is all held together with contact cement.
Contact cement.
You don't know what that is?
I sadly no.
Okay, so it's like a type of glue that
Here, I'll just look it up. We don't have to get on off topic.
oh no, it's still on topic.
Oh, okay. Then.
Contact cement is like a glue that cosplayers use for like foam and other cardboard crafts. Like it basically how it works is like you apply it to both sides of the surface, and then when you press them together, they form like this completely solid structure, like it's almost impossible to rip them apart without ripping the original material apart.
No, it's nice.
Yeah, it's
Oh, so it kind of works like lacquer. It's kind of like a finished product, right?
yeah,
No,
ca-
it's for sealing gaps, or not sealing gaps, but putting two pieces together, and
yeah,
there's not much residue left over. Like, say for example, with hot glue.
Oh, okay. Then. I see.
yeah. It's like a lot of people like in the cosplay space, especially around foam, like to refer to hot glue as cosplayer's bane, because hot glue doesn't really hold up the same amount of weight that contact cement can.
Yeah, it's a temporary fix. Like you'll see cosplay repair crews running around with hot glue guns operating, or super glue for temporary fixes for cosplayers that have breaks,
Yeah.
on site.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot at conventions. Like, do they come voluntarily or like are they paid for by the conventions?
They're usually volunteers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, Something that I don't have you heard of Mod Podge?
not really.
Mod Podge is something like you were talking about, like a sealant or something kind of like lacquer. Mod Podge is something that you might. I don't know if it's up your alley, but it's something you could look into because it can be used on cardboard, but it's something that else that's used in foam. Um, it's kind of like it looks like a white glue, but it can be spread over cardboard, paper, foam, and it provides like a lacquer layer. And they use it a lot for foam, and before they like apply a paint, or they use it to get like a a gleaming finish kind of deal, and it gets non-toxic. It's pretty nice overall.
Yeah.
but it's like a
Pretty
glue
much.
and a finish.
Mm-hmm. And what about like the actual you two, both of you actually? What about like the actual weapons that you guys design? What about for example you Pepsilorian, you do more Star Wars related stuff. You Crusader, you do more historical related stuff. What how do you guys decide what's next in terms of choosing a prop?
Uh, I guess it's more supply and demand with me. Say like if if I gain some more, depending on the video, I look at like profiles of who I go or look into. Like um, I got a lot of people. Like I posted a comment on a boxing video. People started following me from that video and started liking me and looking into my account. So I started doing boxing history content for a bit, and then
Um,
some people like some German accounts started looking into, like, say, World War One German accounts started looking into that video, liking it.
Excuse me.
So yeah.
I meant more like the prop weapons that you make, not like the
Oh,
content you make.
yeah. My bad.
You're good. You're good.
Props. I guess, yeah. That I just do it on a whim.
Oh, so
Like
like
there's nothing really important.
there's absolutely nothing that helps you decide like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It's all on a whim, like ADHD
Like
level 1,000.
I do have ADD though.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Yeah, I get fascinated on a topic too much, and then I just like I have to
Completely.
make that now. Like I have to, like I can't leave this topic unless I make that.
yeah,
That is completely fair.
I what happened with me when I made those Wolverine claws just a few days ago was like I saw Built Bricks make his own Lego Wolverine claws, and within 48 hours I had been able to make my own as well, following a similar design and and after I built them, I was just completely exhausted on that one topic, and I'll probably never post about them again, but like yeah, I get the idea of like just getting obsessed with something instantly and then having to make it.
Yeah, and then I guess how I say it. Another thing that decides, it's very minor, but like say if I need something, say I want I like a video I want to do, and I don't have the prop for it, I'll I'll make it, but I won't like the process because I'm forcing myself to make it, and it'll turn out well. It will turn out well because I'm trying to look into the details. Say like the Ardita or the submachine gun, the Arditi submachine gun that I made, the Italian one. That's
Yeah?
one of my finest projects. Wait, can you still hear? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Or like barely or loud?
Same.
We can still hear you normally as before.
Oh, okay. Like another process, I'll do it, but I won't like the process. It'll turn out great, but I won't like it.
Yeah. That's like another thing with me is like I haven't tested anything for it yet, but I have this feeling like if someone asks me to do something, I'll do it begrudgingly or just like not
Yeah,
very well.
and
Like unless you're
uh,
giving me some kind of incentive to do it, like for the most part, all of the times on TikTok that I've made something that asked people what I should make, most of the time I either made those months apart, or I made those props as a coincidence and then decided to reply to the person who asked me to make them, or I was open to people telling me what to make and I made it willingly.
Yeah, things that I've made, I have almost never made when people ask me to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm in the same situation, or when it came to comes to that. I don't even know why I posted. I posted videos saying like, hey, put in the comments what you want me to make next. And like a lot of people would put like some machine guns or like helmets or they're like these big projects or like very small projects. And I just said like I'll do it tomorrow, and then
Yeah.
the next day I'll do it tomorrow, next week, next month.
Yeah. Ultimate procrastination.
But ultimately, I
Ultimate
get it done.
procrastination.
I get it done, but like a year later.
A year later, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm in a similar boat where some things I've made were like 6 months after someone asked me to make them.
I attempted to do that for a little while, but the whole process of getting a request to make something, then it becomes kind of begrudging while you're doing it because you don't really enjoy it all that much. So I just gave up on that.
Yeah.
And then even trying to post or make something to put in my shop, it's still kind of begrudging because then it turns into work instead of actually having fun with it. So even
Yeah.
those ones I posted to put up, say for sale, and I don't feel they're nowhere near as good compared to like my personal projects. And
Yeah.
like on the personal, it can vary from seeing that or seeing something and be like, I got to make that now because that's freaking cool. Like that's kind of where the Doctor Doom stuff come from because like seeing RDJ get announced and I was like, all right, I'm making that.
Wait, which one
And
is RDJ?
Robert Downey Jr. when he was announced as Doctor Doom, I was like, I'm making that, and then in the Mountain Dew, and it was like 2 days after I seen that, I was printing the mask.
Nice. Yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
yeah.
And then other than that, it's mostly nostalgia or just stuff that kind of makes me happy in general. Like uh, games I've played before or get fixated on, or they come back in rotation. Like, I might get on a Final Fantasy kick for a while, and then I'm, making Final Fantasy related stuff, or I get on a Halo kick and making Halo related stuff. And it just kind of rotates in and out. And then if I get bored with it, then rotate back to it.
Yeah.
This is unrelated, but I'm sorry. There was this. I actually know this guy. His name's Sergey. He was in an old server that I knew, and he actually made a whole cosplay of Master Chief.
Nice.
Like it was colored too.
Out of cardboard?
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Cardboard, plastic, everything.
Nice. That's amazing, yeah.
What's the next question? Or you don't want to keep talking about this one?
Next question. Let's see.
All right.
Next question. Paper versus cardboard. Let's go with that. Like last time. Yeah. Last time.
Do I have to pick one, or like can I like?
You had
do both?
mentioned last time about mixing in paper into some of your projects. I think that's kind of where we're going with that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Both.
Like, I guess, could you describe some applications on how you could mix paper into some of your projects, and like how do you do that? Example.
Fairly decorative. Sometimes functional, like the time the idea I tossed over to Marauder about the hinge,
Yeah.
but that's very rare and it's very occasional. and then
Unless,
even then it's very weak. But also like it's a very strong decorative like thing. It like it's very it helps cover up some things. Like say you made a mistake and like oh there's a little crack in there. It can be used to like kind of like cover it up while also adding some details to it.
yeah,
And also like the little the fast helmet, the fast military fast helmet that I made. That's one of the great good examples because it had two layers it had 2 layers of cardboard over it so it can actually function as a helmet. And I was like, damn, this looks ugly. So what I did was that I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna slap a bunch of paper mache on here.
yeah. Another thing that I said last time, but you guys couldn't hear, was about like using paper barrels, like paper barrels for certain props, and that's something I can attest to myself. I've done paper barrels before. Um, what about you? What about you, Cardboard Historian? How much can you rep paper barrels?
Um, Paper barrels. Oh, uh, can you describe a paper barrel real quick?
Like you roll up a paper, like a piece of paper, and use it as a barrel inside of a cardboard gun. Like you roll up a piece of paper.
Oh, how like how good I can type one? Like I can make it, or like do I use it?
Yeah, like do you use it? Would you recommend it for a beginner? I don't know.
I would recommend it for a beginner, and but me personally, I would not use it. Like if you're gonna use it and not if you're gonna use it as a barrel purely, and say it's gonna be a prop, and you're not gonna put in like anything like a bayonet, or you're not gonna have anything on it, and it's just purely gonna be a barrel, then go ahead. Like I actually encourage it because like it's round, it actually works,
Yeah,
and it's not that hard to do. But if you're like planning to make like a rifle that's a bit longer on the longer side, say like a longer rifle like a Mosin or like a Gewehr or Kar 98, and you want a bayonet on it and you want to add like details on it on like, accessories, then do not use a paper barrel.
yeah,
Yeah, it will just hurt in the long run because once you get that thing on, it'll just stay there, and then you'll have to take it out. There'll be paper stuck on there, and overall it's just a painful process to get out of and say if you're already like if you've been using paper for a long time, then it's gonna be harder for you to make a cardboard barrel, like just wrapping up cardboard, and that's already hard enough because you're gonna have to try like use rubber bands, tension it, and you have to hold it until it dries, and sometimes it'll hurt because the heat from the cardboard,
yeah,
the heat from the glue.
yeah. One last question before we wrap up. It's already been an hour
Yeah.
and 3 minutes. What are some good tips for beginners, like on cardboard prop crafting, cardboard guns, the whole likes of it?
I guess it's just learn what you can. Like learn what you can from mistakes and then capitalize on them because usually when say if you made a mistake, then you can sometimes bounce back and make it better instead of having to restart the whole project. Because like
Yeah,
one small mistake, that'll be just a stepping stone more as to like you'll become more experienced. And
absolutely.
also like it's a don't be afraid to like start new projects, but also know what you can do, like know what you can do and what you can't, and then so you don't like get stuck on it for months.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a very like if it's like a very small project and you get stuck on it for months because you don't know how to do one thing, then personally you should have thought through it because like most of the starting part is thinking through it. So a lot of it's just mental rather than physical.
Yeah. But yes. Do you think we should wrap it up for now?
Yeah, but before we
You-
sign off, Cardboard Historian, could you please tell everyone your socials so they can give you a follow?
Sure. Yeah.
Uh,
Go for it.
yeah, 100%. My name is cardboard_historian on TikTok, and um, I don't have a YouTube. That's pretty much it. That's all I got.
Yeah. Uh, it would be awesome if you had a YouTube though. If you could
Yeah,
arrange that.
talking about historical topics and cardboard.
Yeah, like if you had a YouTube, like I remember you were working on one another day, but like yeah, if you don't want to, it's perfectly up to you, you know.
Personally, I don't think I will start one anytime soon because boxing's becoming more. I'm getting more serious into it, and I don't think I would have the time for TikTok, boxing, and Discord or just spending time doing all that.
Yeah, you already run like 100 or so RP servers. That's an exaggeration, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. I don't feel proud running a Discord server, but hey, I got dragged into it.
Yeah.
I like how you make a lot of boxes and you box. I'm sorry, I had to.
Plus, I have a boxer for a dog.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
his name's Rocky. After the
Oh,
boxer.
Nice.
All right, boys. Say bye to the viewers. We're wrapping
All
up.
right, have a good day. Eat
Thank y'all.
healthy.
Thank y'all.
Bye bye. And